welcome to the Business Alliance Center channel today. We have a special guest and we are going to have a good time. We're going to take our time and enjoy, ask our questions, and just learn a little bit about the spoken word industry. Today, our special guest has truly worn many hats of business and earned the rights to several titles. He's an actor, author, comedian, coach, podcast host, MC, partner of Cigar Lifestyle, and CEO and master artist of The Relief Session, which is the most popular spoken word show in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. Last and definitely not least, a family man, loyal friend, and in my book, definitely a Hall of Famer. Welcome our special guest, IAMWILL.
That's a lot.
That is a lot. You are a well-accomplished man. You have done so much. So how are you feeling today?
I feel wonderful. You know, I got a motto: if I don't eat right, I don't sleep right. So I ate good last night, so I slept good. And here I am. I'm glad to be invited, glad to be a part of it.
Very good. I'm happy to hear that. I did as well. With a couple margaritas too. So.
Why not?
Yeah, so you're definitely a Dallas native.
Yes, born and raised here. Raised where I live with my grandmother. You know, Cliff. Went to South Oak Cliff High, class of '95. Dallas, everything.
Oh, all things Dallas, and our Mavs are doing well.
Yes, Mavs up in 6. I don't care who you are. I've been talking the last month. I can't find nobody no more. No more haters. They ain't nowhere to be found. But here I am. Mavs in 6.
Well, they know you go hard on them. So if you say anything about your team, they be like, "Oh, he gonna clap back and he gonna give it to me." So.
And the only thing they can do is bring up the Cowboys. But that's
yeah, our Cowboys. Yeah.
Just kills my spirit.
So I met you in the cigar industry, so I do know that you are a cigar enthusiast, right?
Yes.
So how long have you been smoking cigars?
I've been smoking cigars, I would say about 6 years now. Yeah, I say about 6 years smoking cigars. It was definitely new to me. I just was invited somewhere to a cigar lounge some years back, and I just went in there. I purchased a cigar. Didn't know what I was smoking or what I was getting, but I had such a great time because the vibe, just watching these people sit around here, have these cigars, having these great conversations, talking about relationships, talking about sports, the weather, while having this cigar, and I was like, I like that. Now, granted, the cigar was horrible, made me sick the next day, but
you didn't smoke it right.
But
That's
I
what
went
they
back
say.
because I said I got to do that over, and I went back. I found the right cigar, which I've been smoking the same cigar since for the last 6 years, and I love it. It's a lifestyle for those who don't know or are not a part of it. It's therapeutic. It's you know you meet people through it, and it's just something I love.
Okay, so is that how you became involved with what we know as Cigar Lifestyle?
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely. Having a cigar with a gentleman I did not know at the time, but now he is my brother, Glenn Smith, CEO and founder of Cigar Lifestyle. Met him having a cigar at the Attache Lounge, which you know, and he told me his dreams and aspirations, and I listened to him, and I met him one day at an old place called Tiger Patron. Shout out to Pup, Kevin Smith. And me and that guy been brothers and friends ever since. And he's made me a very important piece to Cigar Lifestyle, as well as my man Dale Johnson. And here we are, still here.
Cigar Lifestyle. Okay, so what is your favorite cigar? Because you've been smoking cigars for 6 years now.
Absolutely. My favorite cigar is the Drew Estate Factory Smoked Cigar. It is a sweet tip, a very affordable cigar, and for the price, it is one of the best to me. And it's very popular smoke. Women smoke it, men smoke it. It's good for beginners. If you just want something kind of nice and easy, perfect stick. And you can get those at Total Wine.
I was going to say Cigar Lifestyle.
We have them sometimes we don't. However,
Okay.
I can hook you up.
There you go.
Got you.
Okay, one more question on Cigar Lifestyle. I know you all are everywhere, and you are still branching out.
Yes.
So do you anticipate bringing more people aboard to kind of help you all in the different locations? You all can be in so many places at one time, and I see y'all are on the bus and everything.
Well, you know, the best part of Cigar Lifestyle is our brotherhood.
Okay.
That is the best part. That is the part I love. You know, shout out to the Lunch Bunch. That is our part, because with Cigar Lifestyle, you get these great brothers and sisters who show up to our venues and our events and say, what do you need? You need packing, you need help? What do you need us to do? And that's awesome. The best part. So Glenn knows when he's not available, I'm there. And the fellas know if I'm there, we got you. And so with Cigar Lifestyle, we don't have to ask for much, because we have so much support from people already in this community, in this city, through our friendships, that they look out for us. They have our back. They always have. And I think that makes us different from a lot of other independent cigar sellers and vendors. We're not just friends, we family.
Gotcha.
That's different.
That's awesome. That's awesome. That does make a difference, because then you have people just diving in there with you. Right. That's awesome. So the reason we are here, of course, though, is the relief session, all about IAMWILL, this wonderful gentleman here. So let's dive into some of his titles and the things that he has done. We're going to talk entertainment real quick with him. He's got so many, I don't even know where to start. But we are going to start with his accomplishment of being in a movie. Now let me just backtrack a second. What has inspired you to accomplish all that you have done in the realm of entertainment? Because you have done so much.
You know, if I could be blunt, I'm just hungry for more. You know, I'm not satisfied with my life. Not that I'm complaining. I don't want to come out like that. I love my life. Right. But I'm not satisfied because I could do more. So to me, that's the motivation. You know, I want the big house. I want to wake up in the morning and not have to worry about checking my account to see what I spent last night. I want to feel like that. Right. And I feel like this is my lane to do it. You know, whether it's small or big, and it's something that I love doing. So it's motivating. And, you know, then you look at the fact that I have so many friends and supporters behind me that push me to get to that point. You know, so I'm here, and I'm trying to get in where I fit in. Okay. I'll just kind of go to this next question here. Okay, so The Producer's Chronicles by Torjim Jesse, you were in that movie. Yes. You said it's available on different avenues now. I saw it on Tubi. Yes. And the ending was totally surprising. Yes. I was like, no, this couldn't be. So how did it feel being in the movie and working with Torjim? Oh, man, well, first of all, man, I am so grateful to him. My man, Torjim, he gave me the opportunity to be in that movie, invited me to be a part of it. He could have picked anybody else to do that. He selected me for that. I am so humble and grateful. The experience was amazing because that was my first movie, but I had already did a music video, but that was my first movie. So the camera wasn't, you know, hard. It was, now we memorizing scripts and stuff like that. But shooting the movie was a great experience. It was something new and different I hadn't done before. You know, the story is, he sent me the script. I procrastinated, I got lazy, I did not read that script at all. Maybe a week before it's time to shoot, he sends me locations, times where I need to be, and I said, oh my God, I don't know anything about this script.
This is real.
This is really happening right now. So literally, I digested that script 2 or 3 days before we shot that movie. And I was nervous at the beginning, but I can tell you once we got going, and I really started reading the script, because what I then learned about the movie is that there are different ways while you're shooting the movie to have your script. You know, you can have it right here, you can have it back here, you can have it somewhere where it's visible. You can do all these different things. Oh, really? Yes, absolutely. So at the beginning, you know, I'm reading the script like, okay, let's go. Cut. Okay, let's go. So you don't have to read all of it at once and like truly remember it. You know,
they keep cutting each time you say something?
Each time you're cutting. Oh, wow. Know, so sometimes it could be you messed up a line, or it could be the director or producer wants to do a different angle or something like that. So I think what people, the genius of shooting a movie is that if you're in a scene with another person. So you know your lines, but you also have to know their lines.
Right.
Right. That's what people don't get. You have to know
I
that.
gotta come in after.
Yeah, you gotta know when it's time for you to say your line. That's part of knowing their lines.
Right.
So my co-star, shout out to him. He was a great actor. So as I'm reading my script, I'm still getting his script. So now I'm getting both lines. So now my mind is swole with this information, but I got it in. And so at some point, it just started becoming easier and easier and easier and going. So it was a great experience. Again, you said on Tubi, also the Fossil movie app, AXC, it's 3 different apps. They're all free. Check it out, support it. And real quick, I did say I was in a music video called Lying to My Face. Shout out to my man Black. That's on YouTube as well. Lying to My Face. I play a cricket pastor.
Oh my goodness.
Yes,
why you gotta be the cricket?
Hey, that's what they asked me to do.
And that's what you did. Okay.
That's what I did.
Well, all right. So my next question here is, where did comedy fit into your portfolio of talents, and will we ever see that again?
You know, growing up, I was just a goofball. I was the comedian of the family. You know, it started out with knock-knock jokes and stuff like that. So growing up, people would push me, hey, why don't you do comedy, man? You stupid, you funny, like, do something with it.
Love
you
to
know?
see people laugh.
Yeah, and then growing up watching comedians, you know, my favorite comedian was Eddie Murphy growing up. So I was like, maybe. So one day, I wrote down some material to do some comedy, and I ran into my guy, comedian Q out of Dallas, Texas. Shout out to him. He's one of the best comedians in the city right now. He gave me an opportunity to do a 2-minute set. It was an open mic. I did this comedy show, and the funny part is I did none of the material that I wrote.
Oh, really?
I literally went to do the comedy show. I looked at the crowd, and everything that I had wrote went out the window. So I started making up stuff as I go through these 2 or 3 minutes, and it was a hit.
Oh, well, hey, it worked out for you.
Yeah, I was just making up stuff, you know, because I guess that was the genius of what I was doing at the time, instead of just writing it down. But I did it. It was a hit. He invited me back, but I didn't go back. I ended up doing another comedy show at the old Real Time in Oak Cliff, if you're familiar with that. I did a comedy show there. That was pretty good. But after that, I really didn't have any more. It's funny, I didn't have any more aspirations to do comedy. Like, I wanted to do poetry.
Okay.
You know, I was like, I like it, but I don't like it. If that makes sense.
So we won't see you going back into comedy?
Not full time, not full time. Because one thing I will say, that's hard. You know, those comedians, that's hard to make somebody laugh. And you don't know if they're having a horrible day. You don't know what their emotions are, and you trying to make them laugh. That's not easy. So shout out to those comedians that do it, like,
consistently. Yes.
That's not easy. So I'd rather just kind of dabble my feet in both.
Okay, and you can definitely do that. Now, one question, one thought about comedy, a lot of comedians say that their drive for comedy is because of the pain they've seen, the things in their life. So they lean towards comedy to see people laugh, to bring them something, some joy.
Yeah.
Did you find that same experience out of comedy, or was you just like, hey?
You know, honestly, at that time, I was just doing it. I didn't have any particular motivation. I just wanted to make somebody laugh. You know, to me, what's the old saying? Sometimes laughter is the best medicine. Yeah. You know, and at that time, I was young. I wanted to just have fun with it. You know, and that's kind of part of the mystique doing comedy at the time before I really started transitioning everything to poetry.
Other things. Okay. All right. So coaching seems like a natural position for you, knowing that you love sports. How long have you been coaching, and at what levels?
I would say consistently basketball, football, and baseball. I would say 6, 7 years. I've done every level with the exception of college and professional. Majority of the time, I do a lot of pee-wee stuff with the kids because coaching grown men, it's like babysitting babies. That's crazy, but kids don't give it that much of a problem. Grown men, it's like a daycare sort of, you know, trying to coach people's emotions and their feelings and all that. But I enjoy it. I love it because I love kids. You know, so being able to maybe help somebody's kid develop a trait they may use later on down the road in their life.
Right.
I do that in a heartbeat.
Yeah, that makes sense too. That makes a lot of sense because as adults you would think, okay, you know the rules, you know what you're doing, you know, just play the game.
Right, play the game.
Or like on the flip side of that though, coaching kids, their parents are, again, the adult is who you have to contend with.
And parents are the worst.
Yeah.
They are the worst.
Everybody thinks their child is the superstar until they're not, right?
Right.
So do you see yourself developing the podcast again? I saw this a little bit, you started, and how do you feel about that? Yes,
I definitely want to. We want to bring back the Release Session Present Smoking Words.
Yes.
Which was the name of the podcast. I've been fortunate enough to do a couple interviews and podcasts where I was able to get that information in. But right now it's about finding the perfect space, the perfect venue, which may be on right now. But once we get that established, it will be reborn. I definitely want to do it. It is a lane I want to jump into.
Okay. So, well, with all the social media opportunities, have you thought about doing it that way? Because I think initially you were doing Facebook, right?
Yes, initially I was doing Facebook Live, and that was really before TikTok kind of took off,
right.
to be honest with you. So now TikTok provides a great platform.
Yeah.
And as well as Instagram provides a great platform. So social media right now is a lot of different ways to use it, because I also have my YouTube channel, The Release Session, that you can subscribe for free as well. You know, Relief Session. Absolutely.
He covering his shirt.
All right, got it right there with the cigar. You know, but I definitely want to take advantage of those platforms, absolutely.
Okay. So are you going to keep your team?
Yes.
Who's your team right now?
If they want to be kept. Shout out to Release Session, Spoken Word Poetry Team, Big Dave, Misdirected, Miss Sassy, Flex, Real Spill, and I'm adding 2 new members. Okay. Not going to tell you just yet. But we are working on that. So the Release Session Spoken Word Team, really good group of individuals. If you like poetry, Real Spill has a great show that he does at Canon Cigar Lounge. Erotic Eloquent, as he pronounces it. Big Dave is one of our great poets in the city right now. Super dope, even though he says he's not a poet. And you have Misdirected and Miss Sassy, and you have my man Mello. That is my team. Okay. So I definitely want to bring them aboard. If you come with me, you're with me. And that's just my approach to it. So we're going to keep the team. All right. Oh, yeah. All right. So now we're going to move more into the actual Relief Session and cigars. I had never really had an opportunity to see good spoken word shows before I met you. But I knew I've seen some, and I liked them. But your show was well put together, and you had a team, and you did a great job at it with the DJ. How did all that come together? Man, it's one of the best memories of my life, to be honest with you, of how we've come to 158 shows from where we started. Wow. So, the story is, I go to a poetry show one night. I had an awesome time, and I just loved it. And I watched this guy, he was hosting, and he was one of the best hosts I had ever seen, hosting a poet. He was funny, but he wasn't a poet, he was just a host. And I said, I want to do this. This is what I want to do. I want to have my own poetry show. But I had no idea how to start or where to begin. So literally, I went back to work the next day. I'm telling all these people, I want to do this poetry show. I don't know where to start, So people will forward me to different people. And I go in the restroom one day, and I'm standing next to one of my old coworkers, and I'm telling him I'm doing this poetry show, but I don't have a DJ. He says, I can DJ. And I said, no, you can't. He's like, what do you tell me? I'm like, look at you, you're dressed too nice. We're having this conversation in the men's restroom. I'm like, no, you can't DJ. He's like, yeah, I can. Tell me where to be. And I took a chance. I had no idea if he could or not. But that came to be the Release Sessions DJ, Uncle J. Uncle J. And that's how me and him forged that combination. So now we need a venue. Right. So I reached out to a friend of mine. He said, hey, check this guy. His name's Kevin Turner. He owns the Absinthe Lounge, which is now closed, but he owns the Absinthe Lounge downtown. I contact him. He doesn't know me from anywhere. He says, you know what? He literally told me, he said, I like the way you came to me. He said, so I'll tell you what. I'll let you try out one show. I won't charge you anything, and we'll see how it goes.
Okay.
I said, okay, fine. Now we got a venue.
All right, it's coming together.
We got the venue, we got the DJ, now I'm inviting people. So we literally do a show at the Absolute Lounge, our very first show. And my very first poet to ever do the release session was Ty Ford. Those who know him in the city, one of the great poets.
Okay.
He came out, he said, Will, I got you. And I had 4 co-workers and 3 friends at this show.
Now, there you go. It's got to start somewhere.
That's how we
like
started.
Business, yes.
That turned into the next show. The owner calls back. He said, hey, how'd it go? I said, hey, I had a good time. Would love to do it again. He said, you got it. You can
Just
have
like that.
He said, you got it. 7 people turned into 20 people. 20 people turned into 25 people. So now we're rolling. We're rolling in this cigar room doing a release session. Now I got poets coming out. I got Dallas Maverick basketball players, Bernard James, former Dallas Maverick. He comes out. All these different people are coming out. And then out of nowhere, the owner says, I'm closing the lounge.
Oh, man. I mean, we was doing good. We was doing good.
He says he's closing the lounge. He said, but I'm opening up a new one, and I need you.
Oh, okay, okay.
He said, give me 2 months. I said, okay. And in 2 months, he reopened the Obscene Lounge, and the release session kept rolling. You know, so that's how it started. We hadn't even touched on cigars yet.
Right.
We haven't even incorporated them. I was doing free shows. I wasn't charging anybody. We had no shirts, no nothing. And then, to be honest with you, a poet came to me one day and she says, why don't you charge people to get in your shows?
Yeah, but I noticed 3 years.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a long time to be just doing something.
Wow.
But you loved it, right?
I loved it.
Okay, so you probably like.
I didn't do it for money.
Like, who's making the money off of me coming here for 3 years, right?
I was paying out of my pocket for everything.
So, I mean, but like the venues you were playing at and doing your shows.
They didn't charge me anything.
They didn't make money off of your crowd?
I mean, they made money. Of course they did with food and drinks and stuff like that. You know, and but at the time, I'm trying to get in the door. I'm trying to establish myself. So I just figured, if I can get in there and pack this place out, then we can go back to the drawing board.
Oh, okay, that was the thought. Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
So at one show, a young lady comes up to me. She said, why don't you charge to get in your shows? I said, because I don't feel like charging people.
You didn't feel good enough yet, or?
No, I felt bad about charging somebody to listen to something I wanted to give them.
Oh.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
But she said, I get that.
Yeah.
She said, but you do a lot.
You do.
You should be paid for it. I said, you know what? I went to Uncle Jay, me and Uncle Jay talked. We'll try it. We'll charge $5. And people paid $5.
There you see?
People paid $5. And then we said, let's do some shirts. There comes the release session shirts. And then we've had about 8 or 9 different logos.
So talk to me real quick about this logo, though, because I know it's different.
This logo, when we started doing the poetry with the cigars, I wanted to be bold. I wanted to stand out without saying much.
Right.
Because sometimes you can say a lot of things without really saying much.
Right.
So people kept asking, what's the release session? What's the release session? I said, you know what? I'm not going to tell you it's a poetry show because it's not. It's not a poetry show. It is a session. It is a moment of relaxation with me. And so when I became to be around a lot of cigar smokers in the cigar community, I wanted to identify with them. So I said, how can I identify with them and still identify with poetry?
Right.
I took the mic off, I put the cigar there, and now you have them both. You have the poetry and you have the cigars. So
now it feels like an experience. It's just.
That's what it becomes. And that's what separates my show from a lot of other great shows in the city, but we're different. You know, everything about it is different. The concept is different.
Right.
The words are different. The vibe is different. And if anybody has ever been to a release session, which a lot of people have, they would tell you it was just different.
Right.
And that's what I want to be. I don't want to be compared to that show or that show. I want you to go home and say, you know what? That was different what we did tonight. That's I had never had something like that.
Yeah.
And that's
And tell everybody, you gotta see, you gotta come next time.
And that's the whole point of it. And,
Yeah.
you know, that's when we incorporated cigars, and to this day, and we're still here with the cigars. And I can wear this shirt anywhere, and a lot of people come to me and say, yo, what's the release session? I am the release session.
You are, yes. And can't nobody take that from you. It is you. No matter how hard they try, they can't do it like you.
Nah.
You make the difference.
Yes.
So the place you started with, they closed down. You had to find a new place. And what was next?
So he closed down the Absy Lounge. He reopened another Absy Lounge. And we're rolling.
Back on.
Back on, packing out shows, having great poetry shows. And then he calls me and says, hey, I'm closing.
The second one?
Second one. Same guy.
Okay. But he did let y'all start charging $5
yes.
or whatever.
Oh yeah, we were good. But he did it again. Second one, he sold
He's
it.
trying.
He closed it. So now I'm like, oh my God, what am I gonna do?
Now you trying to look for another venue.
I can't keep doing this.
Did that take something out of you, like, well, you wanted to stop?
It was deflating.
Oh, I understand.
Because at that time, we had built up so much momentum. Like the word was out there.
Yeah.
You know, poets were coming out and like, hey, I never heard of you, but I heard about the show. We coming. And they kept bringing other poets and other poets. People were bringing people. You know, and I remember a poet, I won't say her name, but she invited me to feature at her poetry show one time. And I went to feature, I invited my family and all this, and she came to me and said, hey, I got this poet over here. Would you mind sharing your feature with him? And if you don't know the poetry game, that is so disrespectful.
Okay, I didn't know that. Okay, I'm thinking, okay.
It was very disrespectful.
Disrespectful.
Because she didn't know me. She didn't know me.
Oh, okay.
So
I'm sorry.
fast forward to the Absy Lounge. That same poet comes to my show to recite her poetry, and she says, hey, I owe you an apology. I said, what do you mean? She says, come to find out, you somebody in this city.
Oh, really?
She said, I did some research. She said, yeah, you somebody in this city. And she apologized.
Yeah, she didn't know. But still, if you knew the game, you don't disrespect anybody.
Right.
You know?
But you know, that's you know, people don't know that's what motivated me, because I got no respect. Your husband will appreciate this story if I can real quick.
Go ahead, take your time.
I went to a poetry show at the Old Heroes Lounge. At that time, it was co-hosted by a former poet, rest in heaven, Rage Almighty. He was hosting that show.
Right.
I was the first one there. Nobody had signed up on this. I signed up on this list to recite poetry. 2 hours later, he hadn't called me. I'm still sitting there, waiting to say my poetry.
Oh.
I go up to him and I say, hey, I had signed up to do poetry. Are you going to get me on?
Right.
He says, I don't know you. That's what he told me.
But isn't that the point?
Yeah. And my feelings were hurt,
Yeah.
but it pissed me off.
Oh, wow.
It pissed me off.
Great motivator.
And the release session, I went full bore with it.
Wow.
I said, because you're going to have to come see me. And fast forward, the release session's rolling. My hostess comes to me and said, hey, this guy doesn't want to pay to get in. He gave me his CD. I said, who gave you a CD as admission? I go to the front and it's Rage Almighty. I said, hey.
How the tables have turned.
Yes, I said, hey man, I'm glad you came, man, because you're a dope poet. I appreciate you. But it's free for pre-registered poets. I said, you did pre-register, so the admission will be $5. And if you like to spit your poetry, let me know. I'll sign you on the list. See, I'm talking to him like I don't know him. See how that feels?
Yeah.
He's looking at me like I'm Rage. I said, yes, you are. One of the best poets I ever heard in my life.
Right.
But I need $5 for you to get in.
Right.
So here's your CD, and give me the $5. And then later on tonight, I'll purchase one of your CDs. He paid his $5. He went into the release session, and he killed it. He killed it. One of the best poets I ever heard, rest in heaven. But that pissed me off. That experience alone pissed me off.
Right.
And here we are.
Subscribe to this channel, like and share our videos, and definitely pass on the word. So let us help you with your business journey. We'll see you next time, and check out the description for the free workbooks. And also make sure that you check out our other channels on TikTok, Instagram, and definitely Facebook. We'll be in touch.